do a class that is designed for weight bearing. So there's quite a lot of 4-point kneeling, weight bearing on the wrists, scapular strength and stability, which is really important, as well as a few other mobility exercises that you will probably be familiar with. So let's get started. We're going to begin on 4-point kneeling. If at any point you need to take a rest from your wrists, it takes a while to build up strength in the wrists and the shoulders. It's all about scapular strength as well. You need to take a break, reset your alignment, make sure that you are happy and that we're not kind of collapsing in the shoulders, and build up gradually, build up your strength gradually. So we'll start on all fours. Your hands are below shoulders, knees are below hips. If your wrists do feel a little bit sore in this position, you can always take your hands slightly more forward. That takes some of the force out of the wrist, directly above the wrist. So it's up to you where you place your hands. Ideally though, keep your hips above your knees. And from here we'll start to mobilize the hips. So you've got your knees hip width, your neck is long, your head is reaching away from your body, just like a tortoise popping his head out of a shell. From here, keep that length and just curl the pelvis under and release and curl. So you can probably see I'm not moving my upper body, I'm just curling the tailbone under. So it's really going into the lumbar spine, and that's about it. So curling and releasing. It's quite nice for the lumbar spine, the lower back, and the hips to just get them moving first thing in the morning. We can then use this movement to begin the cat. So you start with the curl. The ears are still away from, the shoulders are still away from the ears. You curl through the spine. Eventually you get through to the head, looking in towards the tummy, releasing the length in the back of the neck. And then you send the tail and head away at the same time, lengthening, almost like you're being pulled in opposite directions, your tail and your head. And then you start again, so you curl from the tail, and then when you can't get any more out of your hips, you then work through your spine through to your head, really sending those hips forward, and then releasing head and tail, long neck, long spine. And again, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. So there's going to be lots of weight bearing on these hands, but the thing that makes it easier to weight bear and lighter on the hands is if you use your core, your center, to engage correctly to support the weight of your body. So from here we're going to take a little hover. So we're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to lift up from your lower tummy. So there's no movement in the spine, that stays the same. You just lift the pelvic floor, lift the lower tummy. And then as you lift the pelvic floor, draw the pelvic floor inwards and upwards. Sit bones, it feels like they're pulling together, but you don't see any movement. And then you lower back down, and then you release back to neutral, just release the toes. You can leave the toes there. So you're going to lift and hover, and you hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you lower back down. There should be no movement in the spine. The shoulders stay away from the ears, and the neck is long. Hovering again for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and lower. Let's see if we can hold it for 10. And then lifting for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. So we're going to hover and extend the leg. So we're going to hover on with the knees off the mat. You're going to extend one leg behind you, so all the weight is on the supporting leg now, and then bring it back. And we're going to do 5 of these. 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and bring it back in, lower down. Breathe for a moment, take some weight off the wrists, and we go again. Hover, and then we stretch the leg for 1. Everything else is staying still. 2, and and 3 and 4. Keep pressing the floor away, and 5, and then lower back down. Well done. We'll do another set of those on each leg. Hovering gets harder as you get more tired. You've got to really send the body away from the floor. Pull the face away from the floor. 3 and 4 and 5, and lower back down. And last one, hover and send the leg away. Keep pushing the floor away. 2, lifting the tummy. 3 and 4 and 5. Well done. Come back down and release. Give those hands a shake. And then from here we're going to do some plank variations. So again, it can be a little hard on the wrist. You can take a moment whenever you need to. So for your plank, we're going to start with a simple stepping out to the position and back in again. So we tuck the toes under. We're going to engage all down, so this is my right leg. We're going to engage all down the right side of the body, lifting the tummy, feeling like you're drawing the back of the arm in towards the side of the body as well, as we lift the other leg to take it back. And then we come back in with the first leg, in with the second leg. Ready to go on the other side. So this time I'm sending my left leg back, tucking the toes, engage the left side, shoulders down, engage that back of the left arm in towards the side of the body to use the core, step back, and then the first leg comes in, second leg comes in. Let's do a few more of those. So tuck the toes, engage the center, grow the spine, and then back in, and then the other side, and out. Now your wrists might be starting to feel a bit sore now. That's okay, as long as they don't irritate too much. Take a break when you need to, and breathe. Making sure there's no collapsing in that lumbar spine. So as you get tired, there's more chance of that. So again, give yourself a break when you need. We're going to start taking legs away, so it becomes more of a, well, we'll start to move the ankles and then we'll take a single leg version. So we'll tuck the toes under first, come into your plank. Your legs are together. And we're going to hinge at the ankles, so we're flexing. You'll feel a deep stretch in your calves and then release. So your body is shunting back and forward. It's not going up and down. Back and forward. Back and forward, and back and forward. So you can stick with those. Keep practicing the two-legged version, and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Keep growing the neck, lengthening the back of the neck. If you can manage a single leg version, we send the foot back as before. Get a good alignment first, get that sense of lengthening the back of the neck, pressing upwards, and then release the leg. And down, and release the leg. Now it might be that you just stick with this. Maybe we'll do 2 on each side, and then come back down. Or you can add in the ankle flexion here as well. So we flex 2, 3, and change, and flex 2, 3, and change, and then come back down. We'll do one more set of those of any version you've chosen. 1, 2, 3, and change, and 1, 2, 3, and change. Well done. Okay, give those wrists a shake. And then we're going up into our downward dog. So again, a bit more work on those wrists. All great for bone density. So coming into your plank here, we're coming up into your downward dog. So it should take a bit of pressure off those wrists now because the weight is back. We're up on the toes, feet hip width, dropping the chest down, sending the sit bones high. So it feels like you're trying to make an arch in your back. You won't be able to make that shape, but it feels like you're sticking your bottom out as much as you can, dropping your chest down, dropping the heels down. Then drawing your shoulders down away from your ears, opening the collarbones, widening, you're coming into your plank and then you're going to push back again here. Sit bones high, chest down, and then you shift forward and back up. And then you shift forward, we're going to add in a press up and back. And then back to your plank, press up and to plank. And you can keep going with this as long as your wrists and your alignment will allow. As soon as your alignment goes, you need to stop, take a break, reset. And back. I'm going to do one more here. And back. And then we're going to come down onto your knees. And we're going to come down onto the forearms and push back up. Keep changing there, down onto the forearms, push back up. Keeping that lengthened spine. And down, and up, and down, and up. A few more press ups here, just in your knee, your more gentle version with your knees on the mat for 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Okay, rest there, take a stretch back, relax the arms. Okay, so let's take an arabesque now. So it's great for the hip extensors. You could do this one on your forearms. If your wrists are starting to become sore, you can take the leg up here if you want to. If otherwise, you can take it from your downward dog. So we take that stretch there again. You want your feet together for this one if you're on in your downward dog. Again, sit bones high. And then we're going to bend the knee in and stretch it up to the sky, up to the ceiling, wherever you are. And then you're going to bend it and bring it back towards your nose. Bend both knees. You're going to send the leg up. So lots of weight going through the shoulders here. Less through the wrists, but it's quite challenging on the shoulders. 3 and 4. Stretching both arms over to the other side. So bend the knee in first, stretch it up. Really sending one foot down into the floor, the other one up to the sky, and bend and stretch. And bend, really scissoring those legs. 2, sending the supporting hamstring backwards. And last one, bring the leg down, lower the knees, and rest the arms one more time. Very nice. Okay, so we're going to take just a simple ripple now. We're nearly done on those wrists. It's quite tiring, so again, take rest when you need to. We're going to sit back into a hinge. When you get to the point where you have to start tucking your tail, let it curl under. Keep curling it under. Think pubic bone curls towards the nose as you shift forward, so you're really tucking your tail here. And then you unravel the spine, open the chest, open up, and sit back again. So you hinge back first. When you can't hinge anymore, then start to curl the tail. Keep curling it as you come through, flexing, extending to lift the chest, and back. And one more. Rippling through. Now you can keep going with those if you feel that's good for your spine. We're going to continue with your threading the needle. So I'm going to use a ball. Don't have to use a ball. Other options are bands. You can use a band for this as well. But the ball is nice because it encourages the mobility in that rotation. So spreading the fingers, hands below shoulders, keeping the weight forward over the hands. Typically, it's tempting to sit back when you start to roll. So we need to keep the weight forward over the hands. You're going to turn, I've got the ball underneath my left wrist, and we're going to turn the right palm up on the ball. So the back of the hand is on the ball. I'm going to bend the left elbow, very important here, bend that left elbow, turn the right ear towards the mat, rotate the spine, and then you pull the arm back and reach up. And again, the arm goes through, bend the elbow, keep the weight forward, ear towards the center of the mat, and reach. And again, 3. Breathing out for the rotation, breathing in for the stretch. And last one, 5 here. And reach. Let's go to the other side. Replace the ball behind the right wrist this time. Lengthen out the spine, turn the palm up. Bend the right elbow, rotate, keeping the hips square, keeping the weight forward. Reach, and 3. And notice if you're leaning towards the ball, it may be that you need to make sure that your ear is pointing towards the center of the mat. Check you haven't shifted towards the ball. And last one. Here, and you'll be pleased to know we're coming down onto the mat, no more wrists. So lowering back down, we'll need the ball in a moment. So finding neutral, have your legs slightly wider than the hip width here, turned out. And we're going to have your palms facing up to the ceiling and your arms down by your side. Now from here, you're going to extend the spine, lengthen and turn the palms in. So it's the upper body movement of your dart. Really send the head away. So you're still looking at the mat, but you're sending the top of the head away from the body. The arms are rotating inwards, and then you release back down and rotate the arms. And again, rotate and lengthen. And then you come back down. Now we're going to add in the legs. So the legs start together. The heels drop apart, the big toes are touching. As you rotate the arms and lift, you rotate the legs so the heels come together. Really pull those legs together. Really squeeze your bum, squeeze your heels and the inner thighs. The legs come off, that's fine. And then you lower back down and rotate. And again, rotate inwards, lengthen, grow the head away from the body, squeeze the legs, squeeze the heels, grow, and lower. I'm going to do 2 more of those. 3. Stretch, squeeze, and lower. And last one here, squeeze. Now hold it there. The legs are hovering off. If you want them off, you can have them down for this. I'm going to float the arm forwards and back. And then the other arm forwards. So you're keeping the legs lifted the whole time if you have got them off. If you haven't, just keep reaching the head away from the body, growing as long as you can. Do one more, keeping the body really still. As you get tired, it wants to wiggle. Keeping it still, and then lowering back down for a breather. Now we're going to add the ball in for this, bit of proprioception. So we've got the ball in one hand out to the side. Let's have the legs a little bit wider for this, turned out. Now, we're going to lift up into a T-arm lift, T-shape. We're going to pass the ball over the head, around to the other side, and then behind the body. And again, over the head, you're still looking at the mat, but still lifting and pulling the face and the body away from the mat. And we go the other way. Pass it behind and up, keeping the shoulders down if you can. 2. And breathe and lower. We'll do 1 more set of those, 2 each way. So we're going to lift the body, lift the arms, stretch the feet away from you, stretch the toes and the backs of the legs. And 2. And there, and then back. And 2. And lower back down. Well done. Take a stretch back. Big breath. we're coming down onto our tummies again for some more cobra, full cobra this time. And we have the hands by the ears, shoulders down, legs slightly wider than hip width turned out here, and we're going to extend, so using the extension we just did, and then you keep going, shoulders down, minimal use of the arms here. And when you're up, we're going to turn the head to the right, back to centre, turn to the left, back to centre, and we'll lower back down. So adding in a head turn, freeing up the neck, curling backwards. Leave the ribs down as long as you can before you start to lift. Minimal use of the arms as always. Shoulders down here, and back, and then back down. Now we're going to add in a head roll, so you extend the spine to full cobra. We turn to the right, we roll, look down, through to the left, back to centre. Now turn to the left, roll down, back to centre, and lower. One more of those each side. Lengthen, curling backwards, shoulders down, turn to the right, roll, to the left, centre, and left, roll, to the right and centre. Very nice. Okay, sitting back for a stretch. A little bit of hip mobility now. So we're coming into your Z sit. So I've got my left leg forward, right leg back. Create a bit of space here, so you don't want to be too bunched up with your legs. Give yourself space. And we're going to just do a side lift of the hips, so a side bend. Your hand is placed in line with your hips here, and you're going to lift up your hips. So you're lifting sideways into a side bend, but you're also pressing that right hip forward. You can look towards that back hand as well. And then you're going to lower the hips back down with control. So this is you using your core, not just plonking down each time. You're lifting up into a nice stretch, and then you're controlling the movement back down again. And again, lifting up, breathe in, and breathe out, and in, and out. One more on this side. We're going to do a few more movements with the hip here before we change sides. So we'll just roll the hips to start with. So we're going to roll over to the other side, lengthening the spine as you go. And then roll to this side again. Leaning back, so the arms have to go back behind you to keep the length in the lumbar spine. What we don't want is a kind of a rounded collapsed spine. So you want to lift up, send your chest forward, lift the chest up and forward as you roll, just to let the hips move in the joints. And then when you finish back facing the front, we're going to just lift the back knee. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Then we're going to lift the whole leg, so the ankle comes off as well, for 1, 2, keep growing taller up through the top of the head, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you can lift that leg off, then we're going to try and bring it forward. So we lift the hip, lift the leg and the foot. We circle it around, touch the front, and then we circle it back again. Send it away. We lift, circle, keeping as upright as you can through the body the whole time. And 3. And 4. Now you're turning it out as it comes forward. And turn out like an oyster as you come forward. Good. Okay, let's try one more just to challenge that upward balance, that upward lift. This may not be for you yet. It may be that you want to carry on with the previous exercise until you can get a real lift. Maybe you haven't quite got the mobility in the hips yet, and that's absolutely fine. If you have, you then want to build the strength to be able to hold upright. So if you can, then lift the leg, bring the ball over your head, out to the side, and then again lift, over the head and down. So there's that lift. The ball is giving you a sense of lift because you're passing it over the head, growing up to the sky as I am outside. And down. Well done. Okay, swapping to the other side. We'll start with our hip lift and side bend. So the hand is placed in line with the hip again. Again, there's that sense of lift and lengthening. We're rolling the left hip forward, side flexing over, looking towards the hand on the floor. And lower. And lift. And lower. Breathe in. And down. And 4. And down. Last one, 5. And down. Now, starting off with the hips, we're going to lift the knee only. So this might be where you stay for the moment to start to build the mobility in the hip. You could sit on a block with this as well if it's uncomfortable to sit on the floor. So you just put a block underneath the seated hip. And then we're going to see if we can lift the whole leg, including the foot. So you lift, it still feels like you're lifting from the knee, but you're lifting a little bit more. You may need to shunt forward slightly to get that movement in the hip. And 4. And 5. Now, if that's all okay, we're going to lift. Now turn at the hip, think oyster here as you turn, and then you tap forward. And keep the leg turning out as it goes around to the back. And then you lift, turn, tap forward, lift, and back. And 3. And back. And 4. And back. And 5. And then we're going to pass the ball overhead if you can. If not, do another set of one of the other previous exercises. And down. And 2. You might find one hip is a bit more mobile or a bit stronger. 3. And 4. And 5. And we've forgotten to do our hip rolls, knee rolls, so we're going to do that now. So we're going to roll into the other side, keeping the sense of length here as you pass through. Your legs need to be really wide for this as well. You roll to the other side and just let the legs relax. So the thigh bones are dropping into the hip sockets. Very relaxed here. It's the same principle as your zigzag legs, just let everything move, mobility. Good. One more each side. And then we're going to roll down onto your mat using your ball. Now you may need a head cushion for this. So we're going to place the ball in the back here, upper back, and let your head rest down onto the cushion or the block or whatever it is you're using. Stretch out the legs, open up the chest, take a few deep breaths, arm circles, breathe in and out, and in and out. Now really stretch those legs away from you, and as you come around this time, we're going to curl up. So circle around, nod the chin to chest, curl, keep curling as you come up. Lift the arms up, lift the chest. If you need to soften the knees here, you can into a frog. And we're going to stretch out the legs as you flex. Lower down. Open the arms into a circle, ready to go again. Nod the chin to chest, curl, reach. Lifting up tall, breathe in and out. Curling down. And over. And again, one more, curling, flexing, lifting up and down. Okay, let's keep the ball there. We're going to have the knees bent. quite wide, as wide as your mat. Hands behind the head, interlace the fingers. So we'll do some curl ups here, curling over the ball and lowering back down. And 2 and 3. Head is dropping heavy into the hands, no neck pulling. Using the abdominals. Now I'm going to hold it there and we're going to reach the arms forward. Now lifting up off the ball, you're not resting on the ball, you're not going to squash that ball. You're going to breathe and pump the arms. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, in and out. Take the hands behind the head, lower back down. We'll do 5 more curl ups here. 1, using the abdominals. 2, breathing out and in. And 3. And 4. And on the 5th one, we're going to stay up. Use those abdominals here. Really engage. Reach the arms forward. Keep lifted off the ball. Breathe in and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In and out. And then reach the arms back and lower. Into some oblique curl ups here. So we're going to rotate across. Send the breastbone towards the outside of the knee. And lower back down. The hips are staying square. We're going to keep on that same side, curling up and down. Breathe out and in. 2 more and in. Last one and in. Other side. So again, no pulling on the head. The hands are just there like a hammock for the head. You can relax your neck. If you relax your neck, your abdominals will switch on more. Might hurt a little bit more in those abs, but that's what we're aiming for. We want a little bit of burn. And last one, breathe out and in. Couple more, 5 more here in the center. 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully you're feeling it a little bit now. And 4. Last one, 5. And lower, and we'll take the ball away and rest down, hug the knees in for relaxing those abdominals muscles. And we'll take some zigzag legs here. So resting down, find neutral spine, make sure you haven't collapsed in your lumbar, knees are really wide, feet are wide. And we just rock the knees across and back to center and across to the other side and back to center and across and back and across and back. And go out with the knees now, so they point in opposite directions. Slide the feet away. Roll the legs in straight and then drag the heels back in. Ideally you want to be either on your mat or off your mat, not like me catching the mat as you come in. So I'm going wider than my mat so I don't catch it as I come in. And just let the thigh bones roll in the sockets, nice and relaxed. It'll be a little bit easier to do that once you're a little bit tired. And we can go the other way. So we roll inwards with the knees, roll out and back. And in, roll out. Really let everything roll nice and relaxed. And then we're going to bring the feet back to hip width. I'm going to take my cushion away for this. You may need to as well. Now, spine curls, just to finish off, to really release everything through the spine and the hips. We're going to lift, we're going to spine curl, imprint the spine, curl the pelvis underneath, press the hips up, lengthen the fronts of the thighs, knees reaching away, shoulders relaxed, ribs are dropping down. We're going to bring the arms overhead, breathe in and then breathe out to roll the spine down. Let the arms come back naturally, imprinting bone by bone. Arms finish. And again, breathing out stretch the legs out, stretch the arms away. Take a big breath in, and if you can roll up from here, if not, just come over to your side and roll up, to sitting. Facing the front with your legs in a long frog. Hands resting on the knees or the shins, wherever you are. Nice tall posture. Think about your posture here, up on your sit bones, shoulders are directly over your hips. And then you're going to roll forward, breathe out, and then breathe in to roll back up. Side bend over, and up, and to the other side, and up. And then we're going to turn the head to the right, place the left hand on the right knee, turn a little bit more towards the back, turn the head, neck, shoulders, but keep the sit bones evenly weighted. Breathe. And then we turn back to the center, other side, right hand on left knee, turn to the left. Twist the body, but keep the sit bones evenly balanced. Breathe into the ribs, back ribs, side ribs. Turn back to the center. Well done. Thank you very much, everyone.